Hey guys, it's Saga from TecworkZ, and here is my detailed camera review of the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Recently we took a detailed look at the cameras on the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and while it did well in daytime, its indoor and low light performance was really bad. This Note 9 Pro Max gets a different set of cameras, so let us see if it performs any better. The camera module on the Note 9 Pro Max looks exactly like the one on the Redmi Note 9 Pro. The only change is it says 64 megapixel instead of 48 megapixel below this camera module. Primary camera gets a 64 megapixel sensor with f1.9 aperture and a 26mm lens. Next camera gets a 8 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and 13mm ultra wide angle lens. Then there is a 5 megapixel camera with f2.4 aperture and a macro lens. And finally there is a 2 megapixel sensor again with f2.4 aperture, and this one is only used for sensing depth information for portrait shots. With the primary camera, you can shoot 4K unstabilized videos at 30 fps, 1080p videos at 30, 60 and 120 fps, and 720p videos at 30, 120, 240 and 960 fps. At the front, we get a 32 megapixel selfie camera with f2.25 aperture. It can take 1080p videos at 30 fps and 720p videos at 30 and 120 fps. Interface of the camera app is similar to the Redmi Note 9 Pro, so we are not going to spend a lot of time on it. Pro mode on this phone lets you dial in all the settings according to your liking for videos, just like you could do with images. Now before we get to the image and video samples, if you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way, YouTube will make sure you are notified when a new video goes live on this channel. As always, let us start with the daytime images. Now the monsoon season is about to reach my city, but I was able to get a few shots when the sun was shining bright. As you can see, main camera on the Note 9 Pro Max can capture good looking images with plenty of details. These 16 megapixel images are sharp enough, and I can already tell that they look far better than the ones from the main camera of the Redmi Note 9 Pro. In this image, you can see that even though there is very bright light around, the white flower is not overexposed, and as I zoom in, you can see the amount of details being captured by this sensor. If you remember, in my camera review of the Redmi Note 9 Pro, I said that it tends to overexpose most of the shots and I had to pull the brightness slider down manually. Well, I am happy to let you know that this issue has been fixed on the Note 9 Pro Max. It manages to capture pleasing looking colors which are very close to how the actual scene looks. They are not overly saturated like we saw from the Mi 10's camera in my last video. There is a natural warm look to these images which I really like. If you like extra punch in your colors, you can use the Pro Color mode, which will add in a lot more saturation and vibrance to your colors. Dynamic range is really good in these shots. I had left the HDR mode on auto for almost all of my shots, and the Note 9 Pro Max did very well to fire it up every time the situation asked for it. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job. Shadows are not too dark and the highlights are not clipping, making the overall images look really good even in such challenging lighting conditions. All in all, I am happy with the HDR capability of this phone while taking normal images. Before we take a look at the close-up and macro shots, here is a quick focusing speed test. As you can see, it is pretty quick at switching the focus from a far to near object and then back again. This quick and accurate focusing helps the main camera take such good close-up shots. Just look at how amazing these close-up shots turned out. The subject, which are the water droplets in this image, and the fence in this one are in sharp focus, and the background is nicely blurred out. These are normal close-ups and not portrait shots, so the blur to the background is all optical. We get such blurry background thanks to the larger physical size of the 64 megapixel sensor and the wide f1.9 aperture. I love walking up to things and taking these close-up shots, and being able to do this without having the phone continuously hunt for the focus saves me a lot of time. Now this is how close you can get to a subject and set the focus. If you move any closer, the main camera won't be able to set the focus on that object. So if you want to get even closer to your subject, you will have to switch to the macro lens and it will let you take shots like this. This Note 9 Pro Max gets a 5 megapixel macro camera which can take much better images than the 2 megapixel macro cameras on the Poco X2, OnePlus 8 and even the Mi 10. It still struggles a bit when we are trying to take these shots indoors, but given ample light, we can take good macro shots with this camera. The wide lens lets you get so much more of the scene in the shot compared to the normal lens. It gives you a whole different perspective of the scene. This camera doesn't capture as many details as the primary camera, and you can even see a fair bit of distortion towards the edges. This is actually true for the wide lenses on most of the cameras. While that might be the case, I am still glad to have this lens on the Note 9 Pro Max. All of the images we saw from the main camera were 16 megapixel pixel bin ones. If you want to take even higher resolution images, you can switch to the 64 megapixel mode. These 64 megapixel images have more details, but you will have to zoom in 4 to 5 times to notice this difference. These high resolution images also don't have a very good dynamic range, and they are huge in terms of file size. They also show a lot of noise if the light gets lower. So while it is amazing to have a 64 megapixel camera on your smartphone, for most of your shots, I think it is still best to stick to the default 16 megapixel mode. If you happen to scroll through the image gallery on any of my phones, you will find it largely populated with close-up and portrait shots. So portrait mode performance of any smartphone plays a very important role in whether I am going to like that particular phone or not. Redmi phones have always been really good at taking these portrait shots, and the Note 9 Pro Max is no different. Thanks to the depth sensor, it does an excellent job of detecting the edges of your subject and separating them from rest of the background. My last video was a dedicated camera review of the Mi 10, and I think this Note 9 Pro Max is just as good if not better than the Mi 10 at taking these portrait shots. In some shots like this, the bright background is blown out, so Redmi needs to work a bit on getting the dynamic range right in all conditions. Other than that, these shots look really great. The movie mode is an option within the portrait mode, and it lets you take 21:9 portrait shots with black bars at the top and bottom. Just as the normal portrait shots, these ones are very detailed, and the wider aspect ratio makes them look very unique and cinematic. Portraits of objects turned out equally good. The edges are detected and separated very well from the background, and the blur roll-off also looks very natural. While taking all these portrait shots, this phone does very well to keep the white balance in check and colors looking natural. If you have never tried this before, do this the next time you are clicking images. Unless you are taking images of a landscape or some architecture, switch to the portrait mode and look at how much better your images turn out. Now let us move to the images shot in artificial and lower lighting conditions. If you remember, this is where the camera on the regular Note 9 Pro started falling behind. But fortunately, Note 9 Pro Max is doing a much better job in these situations. Right from the first glance, these images look totally usable. They might not have as many details in them as the images from some of the higher end smartphones, but I think these images are pretty good and they get the job done. If you think they don't have enough details or they are too dark for you, then you can switch to the night mode and it will help you take even better images. The night mode helps this phone capture much more light and details, and as you can see, the images turned out really good. There is still a lot of noise in the darker areas, but I think for the price, it is doing a very good job. Since this phone is priced very close to the Poco X2, I think that is going to be what most people are going to compare these cameras with. So in a few days, I will be making a camera comparison between these two phones. Right now, on its own, I think the images from this phone look really good. Coming to the front-facing camera, we get a much higher resolution sensor than the regular Redmi Note 9 Pro. Beauty mode is on by default, so if you want sharper looking selfies, make sure to disable it before taking these images. I would say the selfies from this phone are sharp and the skin tones look good and natural. You can see a lot of details in these selfies even as you zoom in. Portrait selfies again look really good from this phone. Even without a secondary depth sensor at the front, edge detection is on point. I just think Redmi needs to work a bit on getting the dynamic range better while taking these shots. Other than that, I am satisfied with this selfie camera, and I think most people getting this phone will be too. Here is a video from the front-facing camera of the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. You can see how it handles the overall colors of the scene, exposure, and stabilization when I am walking around with it. Coming to the video performance. The main camera can shoot 4K videos at 30 FPS. These videos are not stabilized, so you need to be very stable while shooting them. Because if you are not, this is how the videos will turn out. I am not deliberately shaking the camera or anything like that. I was just walking normally, and this is how bad the 4K video turned out. If you want electronically stabilized videos, you will have to drop the resolution down to 1080p at 30 FPS. These videos, while not as sharp, still look good because of how smooth they are. For slow motion, you can shoot 1080p videos at 120 FPS and 720p videos at 240 and 960 FPS. I really don't like how the 960 FPS videos look. So for slow motion, I just stick to shooting 1080p videos at 120 FPS. So after looking at close to 75 image and video samples, I think the cameras on this Redmi Note 9 Pro Max are a big improvement over the Redmi Note 9 Pro. I really think Redmi should not have launched the regular Note 9 Pro in its current form at all, and this Note 9 Pro Max should have been the only phone that they announced. It has got a great set of cameras for its price, and as you saw, it can take really good images in almost all lighting conditions. I will have to compare it with the Poco X2 and the Samsung Galaxy M31 to see where it stands against them. But on its own, this Note 9 Pro Max is doing really well in the camera department. If you guys want to see me compare its cameras with other phones, make sure you have turned on the notifications for this channel. So after looking at over 75 image and video samples, what do you guys think about the cameras on this phone? Let me know in the comments. And if you're looking to purchase it, I will really appreciate if you get it from the affiliate links in the description section. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.